Hello, tubers, and welcome to Coopersthaiadventure. Today is Monday morning in Thailand. It's the 17th. It's 8 a.m. and let's just see if we have anybody online. Oh, yes, we got New York Frank here. Made a comment. Okay, we're getting up there. Yeah, now I got to get out of here. Go down there. Stream, yeah. Why the hell did that go? Maybe this will do it. No, that didn't do it. Bear with me, guys, here. At the stage. You guys hear me okay? Yeah, let me know. I'm gonna watch my finger on this thing. That's what's causing that. Yeah, let me check in here. Okay. Seems to... All right, well, somebody make a comment here. It looks like there's 14 people on. Here's Jeff Siegler. Yes, sir, you are live. Okay, good. Thanks. Thank you, Jeff, for that. It's my first time doing this on my own. Let's say I'm not a real techie, but that's anyways. Hopefully, Blakester Drums says you are good. Roll on, master. Yeah. Well, anyways, today I thought it's like Crypto Monday. Cooper likes to call it, and that seems to be an adequate title. I did want to diversify the talk a little bit, although it pertains to it, and talk a bit about Tesla today. Now, Tesla to me, obviously, I'm big on crypto, and that's where the bulk of my investments are. Cooper's similar, and we've both done our research and have come up with that investment scenario on Bitcoin. Obviously, through MicroStrategy to a great extent. IBIT is also looked at, some of the miners. But, we both felt it was important to diversify a little bit. And what looked good to us after research as well was the AI segment of the market. Artificial intelligence, we believe, is going to be big going forward. And the one company to me, and I think Coop as well, that looked worthwhile looking into and researching was Tesla. And the reason was they seem to be diversified. A lot of people think of them as a car company, but when you do get in and dig into it, it's obviously that as a big segment. Plus, and the pluses are they're big into battery storage. They're coming up with robo taxis, so kind of a separate business, obviously based around the cars, but the income won't be from necessarily car sales, but from ride sharing. Yeah, the third part is, and this is maybe 2 years off, is humanoid robots, possibly to supplement workers in factories, things like that. And a lot of this is actually working now. So it's not pie in the sky, fellas. It's actually boots on the ground. So Musk and his factories do have these humanoid robots doing a lot of supplementary work alongside the workers. And he's obviously test driving in, I think it's Austin, Texas, and maybe a couple other locations, these self-driving taxis. So it's not stuff that's far off in the future. It's coming. And, when you listen to the news, you hear that AI is going to be coming big time. So uh, that's where we thought we'd diversify, not out of Bitcoin, obviously, but into a second segment. So, but anyways, yeah, just any comments on that, or any comments on crypto, or questions you have, you know, just throw them in the comment section here, and we'll get on with it. Speaking a bit about Thailand, the weather's been ideal here. It's still high season. Um, a little bit of rain, but mostly at nights. I believe the rainy season is coming up soon. The big part, at least the high season, will be over at the end of April. So we got about another month and a half of the high season. High season mainly means it's a little busier with tourists, and the condo pools are a little busier with the kids and that, but it's not overwhelming. Traffic's not too bad. I really like the weather here. It's actually ideal. Again, I used to winter in Florida for 20 years, and boy, if I had known about Thailand, I would have been coming here, guys, because it's just as good a weather for like a quarter of the price when you figure it out. But yeah, reading the news, you see a lot of people concerned about the cost of living in their countries. And I know I speak to good friends from Australia, obviously Canada, the US, even Europe. And everyone seems to have a similar outlook that the cost of living in their home countries has gotten very, very expensive. And things in Thailand are going up slightly, but not to an extent where I would find it runaway inflation by any means. I mean, the breakfast I usually got at 120 baht. So what is that? About $3, 350 American. Went up to $1.50. Well, that's like 30 baht. Seems like a lot, but in the long scheme of things, it's not really. So there is some price increases, but I'll tell you what hasn't gone up that I see, and that is accommodation prices. You do pay a little more in high season, but if you're like me and you're here long term, you can get retirement deals anytime, anywhere. Why? Because you're willing to commit to a 12-month lease. And in my case, I'm fortunate if it helps, I can pay in advance. And that usually works a good deal. You don't have to do that 3 months in advance, 6 months. That's beside your deposit, mind you. Generally, will garner a good deal. And the reason I think is I look out my balcony window and I see 3 big crane setups. And these are big condo units going up. 2 of them are directly on the beachfront, and the others on, what I call second road up from that Tepesset Road or whatever. And it's probably the biggest unit. It's going to be over 70 stories, I've heard. So there's ample accommodation units coming online. And obviously more supply means, more competition for the consumer. So I don't see prices going up as far as rentals, I'm talking here. As far as sales, yes, they seem to be able to sell these units. I think, the 49% that foreigners are allowed to own, what I've understood is that tends to pay most of the bills in the construction. So, if they can sell to the Thais, and some of them, obviously, there's Thais with money will buy these units, a percentage of them, anywhere from, 10 to 20% max, probably. There's still a lot that do stay empty in every building that I've seen. I mean, Dusset here, I believe the building we're in is going on 4 years old now, maybe in its 4th year, and there's still a huge percentage that are not occupied. That doesn't necessarily mean they're not sold. Apparently, there's Chinese investors that have bought them sight unseen and never even took the plastic off any of the furniture, so that's interesting take. But so accommodations are a big saving here in Thailand for any of yous out there. And your food expenses are very inexpensive. So that's another huge saving you'll see. And that doesn't seem to have gone up much in price. Meat prices a little bit. Your energy prices, boy, I think as Coop was saying, I think in 2 years we've seen the price of fuel go up 1 or 2 baht only. So it's pretty stable here, unlike Canada where it tends to jump by dollars a gallon on a moment's notice. So, but anyways, yeah, that's it's a great country if you're looking at retiring. I absolutely love it here. I know Coop does. And yeah, the home country, Canada, well, God bless them. They've had a change in prime minister. We'll see if he can do any better than the last one. That Trudeau guy was pretty bad for the country, in my opinion, simply because the debt soared, inflation soared under his guidance, and I don't think he got the country through COVID as well as other countries did. So that's what I base that on. But anyways, yeah, if you got any comments on either crypto, Bitcoin, MSTY, Tesla, and or living in Thailand, and comments on that, just feel free to post them on there. Darlene did ask me to ask you to hit that like button. It does make her smile, and she apparently will be checking things out here. So that would help out too, if you find it useful, that is. All right, let's get into the comments here. Okay, I seem to be back here. Okay. Jeff Ziegler says, yes, sir, you are live. Thank you, Jeff, for that. Okay, here. Blakester Drums, you are good. Roll on, master. Alfa Romeo, hello, Bitcoin holders. And Don Delanik says, good morning, Brooke. You should have Tony Montana as your partner to balance the screen. We are so used to two people. Yeah, maybe, well, Cooper's not gone that long, but maybe, I think he's got me doing Saturday and Mondays. So Wednesdays, he's got videos going up. So the next one would be next Saturday. I'll see about that. Maybe if Tony's available. The only issue, Donnie, and for anyone else, is not a real techie. I don't know how Montana is, and I'd have to, talk to Coop and Darlene as to how to do that setup. And I've got instructions here as to how to do this one. So as far as the setup goes, but that's for one person anyways. But that's a good point. Take it under advisement. Jack Bree, how's the pool, Brooke? Well, the pool is absolutely great now. Just going back, I was out of that pool for going on 2 months almost. And why? It was damn cold. A lot of people felt the same way and didn't bother with the swims. And the odd thing was the year before, I think it was like 2.5 weeks total. You couldn't use the pool, was that cool. But so this year was quite a shock because I expected things to be similar to the first year. Obviously, different weather patterns and different winters, I guess. But no, it's absolutely beautiful now. And you walk in and it's great for swimming, and there's a lot of people doing laps. The pools are so huge here that even they got a kiddies pool, so they'll have their fun in their area. But there's always a spot, number one, in the shade if you don't want direct sun, and they're big enough you can get laps in. And if you're just into walking, I mean, it's chest high, so you can walk around the whole area too with, your arms swinging. So I usually do that. But yeah, no, the pools are great. Thank heavens. JJ says, do you have any shots on Theta or thoughts on Theta? Maybe was going to swap for XRP because they are so slow with their tech, but in a couple years buy back in. No, I don't have any thoughts. I think he's meaning on Theta. I'm not big on the altcoins, to be honest with you. I know Don was big on the XRP and was on one of the channels. If you go back and look at that video with Don Delonic on it, he's an XRP, let's say, guru who really likes it. And I know certain other of the subscribers who I speak to, Tony Montana included, do have some XRP. I tell you, I follow Invest Answers. Guy's name is Jamie. I have for years. And he's done pretty deep research and he's the only altcoin he really pushes and believes in is Solana. And the reason is he thinks it's going to overtake Ethereum. And by geez, he seems to be right. He was making that comment when Ethereum was big and Solana was small, very small. And boy, his research has proved out. So I tend to trust his data and his research. He's one of the few guys I actually follow religiously on, on YouTube as far as investment advice. So it'd be well worthwhile, guys. You take a look, make your own decisions. Invest Answers is the YouTube channel. It's all one word. And the gentleman's name is Jamie. But that's so yeah, I don't really have Theta. I'm not at all familiar with. I do know XRP does have some uses in the financial system segment, but anyways, it's not my cup of tea. All right, let's see what else we have here. Next, go down here. Let's see what Alpha has to say. Any idea when the Bitcoin price will hit the bottom? Another 2 or 3 months? Well, that's an interesting question, Romeo. And like you, I'm a long-term holder. So I don't try and gauge the market for, when's the bottom, when's the top. I just basically buy as I'm able to and stack and hold. I'm a long-term hodler. And, I did run across an interesting segment on a video the other day. Made me think. And basically what the guy was saying was that he believes, as I do, that we're in a time where Bitcoin is going to rocket at some point. Adoption is growing. You see that all over the planet. You've got a crypto-friendly president, a cabinet, and regime, let's say, law, enforcement, SEC regime, that is very, very crypto-friendly towards Bitcoin. And so what's you're getting adoption in treasuries. Obviously, you got MicroStrategy buying up as much as they can possibly get. And they got some pretty interesting financial jujitsu, it's called, issuing bonds, preferred stock, shares, and they take it everything and buy Bitcoin. So my point is that in the gist of the article, the segment, so here we are, we're sitting, it's, 82, 3,000, been treading water, I call it, down from a high of 107 back in, I believe, December. Or was it November? Last year sometime. Anyways. Okay. So what's going to happen in 2 years, 3 years? Where do you think it's going to be? And his point was people are going to sit back and say, Jesus, it was plain as day. It was as clear as our face what was going to happen to Bitcoin. You had a president come on, say he was going to get a strategic reserve and did. He said he's going to become a crypto power. He will. You had sailor saying, hey, you better buy. He's always going to buy at the top because the price is going through the moon. In other words, the segment was basically saying in anywhere from 6 months to 3 years, people are going to just scratch their head and say, why didn't I just simply look at the facts? Bitcoin, the shortage, the limited supply, the adoption, the usage, all the countries throughout the world, the corporations are adding it to their treasuries. It was kind of like all the indications are there. What were we worried about? I was trying to shop a low bottom and missed out. So the point of that was, and I've seen this in other stocks. I mean, I looked at Nvidia and, maybe I bet, no, anyways. Yeah, there's sometimes we miss out. And you don't want to be sitting here in 6 months or 2 years saying, Jesus, I should have bought. Damn it, why didn't I? Everything was there and it was like as clear as the paint on the wall. I should have. All the information was leading to that argument, to that idea. So anyways, I guess the question is, do I know when it's bottomed? Absolutely not. Am I concerned? Absolutely not. Will I be buying? I'll be buying it at any price, providing I have the funds. You can't have too much Bitcoin, in my opinion. It's the best investment out there. I don't own real estate. I don't own vehicles. There's a reason. I like to stay liquid and keep my money invested. And I've done very well doing that. And should I need to, for any reason, exit, a situation, I'm able to, pack my bags and away I go. But anyways, that's not financial advice. That's just me. So no, I don't know when the bottom is in. Another 2 or 3 months could be. It could be 2 or 3 months. We'd be double the price. So it's a gamble, but buy your Bitcoin when you're able. Hold on to it, and it's like dollar cost averaging. If you continually buy something each month, you can average out the highs and lows. So. And Alpha says again, Brooke, I did buy more Tesla on the dip last week. Yeah, Tesla is, I think, very undervalued. Sure, they've had some issues with this. And believe me, the media loves to do it up, Tesla's being vandalized, some of the dealerships protesting. Turns out these protesters are paid. I think the guy's name was Soros that's paying these guys. And so he's got a bug up his ass. But, when you get a resounding vote of confidence like Trump, coming out, buying a Tesla and announcing it in national media, apparently Tesla's showrooms and order desks were, the phones are ringing off the hook for people buying Teslas after that in support of Musk. Personally, Elon to me is leaving politics aside, let's keep the politics out of it. The guy's a genius. He's like the Da Vinci of our time, we will come in years ahead to realize that. And so anyways, I tend to do more research. I do obviously everyday research on Bitcoin, but also now on Tesla every day. And the more I get into it and realize that, Jesus, there's a future in this AI, and he's got a big slug of it. So I'm playing with this free version of his Grok, Grok. And boy, you can ask that any questions and you're getting a lot of good answers, I think, interesting. So that's something to look at. That's a little tip for you guys. And it's free. So, initially, a lot of these times, they'll get this stuff out there, give it to people free. Then people realize, geez, I need this. And then they start with $10. But that hasn't started yet. So. But yeah, I'm also like you, Romeo. I'm buying Tesla now. 10 shares. I try to buy at least 10 at a time if I can. So that's running about 2,500. So if I can do that once a month, hey, I'm expanding my portfolio, my share count. And they're talking these Tesla shares, like when you add up all the revenues. So obviously the car company is going to generate a lot of revenue. This battery pack storage is going to be huge. The robots, they give it $0 investment now as far as share price. That's going to be huge going forward. So, and this robo taxi, that's going to be huge. Apparently, that's coming out in June, I believe, June or July. So that's going to be interesting to see. But when you add all these revenue sources, I know James at Invest Answers, he's putting a target of about, I think, over $4,000 a share on Tesla, and it's currently trading at $250. Now, that's not financial advice. Obviously, do your own research and look into that. But, that's like a 20x, on your investment. So something to maybe look at, guys. And you're covering a different segment than crypto. You're covering AI. So that's, it kind of gives me, I have two stocks I'm big on: MicroStrategy, which to me is Bitcoin, and Tesla, which to me is AI. So that's kind of how I get my diversification. Now, just so you know, money matters. Okay. So I need to supplement. I can't live on these Canadian pensions I get. They're not even as good as the US, and some of the US guys can't live on theirs. But and I think a lot of Australian guys are the same way. The pensions aren't the best. Europe, England say pensions not the best. Yet we need to supplement our pension income with other income in order to, have a decent life. Very tough to do in the West, a lot easier in places like Thailand. How I do that is I do these options called covered calls on my MicroStrategy, and I do generate income. It's a very safe investment, in my opinion, and I've been doing it for like close to 3 years. So it's worked out well. And I would say look into options. Covered calls is very conservative way to do it. It's more conservative than just owning the stock, guys. You'll realize that when you research it. But you can generate additional income by looking into that. So that's something. Now, having said that, my second holding is Tesla, and I would say I'm probably 20% Tesla, 80% Bitcoin. I do not sell calls on Tesla because it's, number one, the premiums aren't very good. Because Bitcoin's so volatile, your premiums are excellent on options on MicroStrategy, for example. However, on Tesla, it's not a big premium, and yet I'd be worried. So it's not worth the risk. Would be losing my stock at too low a price if I sold a call. Anyways, so yeah, that's just what I do. McClintlock 77. Hello, everyone. Sold some MicroStrategy for Tesla last week. Looking to add more in the future. Bullish on both. Yeah. Well, it's funny, McClintlock, because I was like way too heavy before I even got into Tesla. Cooper got into Tesla before I did, and I had suggested it to him. So he obviously did his research a lot quicker and was able to. But I was fully invested in MicroStrategy. So what I had to do was actually, now I was waiting. Because Tesla was way ahead of MicroStrategy in price per share. And I wanted to see that closer. Well, then all of a sudden, MicroStrategy outpaced Tesla. And that's when I pulled the trigger. So I just simply flipped some, 100 share lots of MicroStrategy into 100 share lots of Tesla to build up my position. So that's basically how I did it. And I'm still, like I said, 80% into MicroStrategy. So, but yeah, anyways. The ClintDoc 77 again. Saw interview on channel Brighter with Herbert. Now he's another good guy. I'd follow about Tesla projections. I do follow that guy, and he seems to be very sensible. So those two, obviously Jamie's the first guy I watch every day. Invest Answers, and then I tend to look for Brighter, see if they've got anything up to date on Tesla, because he's pretty well strictly Tesla at least, and he's got great guys coming on that you can tell are knowledgeable about Tesla. About the Tesla projections out to 2029 really opened my eyes. Also, Invest Answers channel. Yeah, there you go. So we're on the same viewpoint with Clintlock, that those two guys, Invest Answers and Brighter with Herbert, tend to give us valuable information base our decisions on. And I do watch both those guys daily, typically, as long as they post. And I think I know Invest Answers post daily, so it's not like I'm searching for stuff that's not there. And Herbert, I believe, does daily. At least I've always seen stuff to watch on him. Stephen Boston, morning, Brooke, doing a great job. Well, thank you. Already have my Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. After last week, I now have Tesla. There you go. So we're kind of sitting in the same investment bags, let's say. Yeah, Bitcoin is volatile. MicroStrategy. So Bitcoin, BTC, you could buy it and self-custody it on an exchange, for example, and put it in a cold wallet. I don't do that. A lot of people maybe are getting away from it if they're concerned about something happening to the keys. You get brain trauma and get knocked out. Well, you might forget your keys and then you've lost. So they use exchanges. So yeah, Bitcoin on exchanges, have them hold it for you if you didn't want to self-custody. A lot of people do that. Obviously, the ETFs for Bitcoin through like IBIT, FBTC, for example, they're traded on the stock exchanges. You can invest through that, and they track Bitcoin price 1-to-1. Cooper's big on that. Now, MicroStrategy, Bitcoin is volatile. MicroStrategy is a play on Bitcoin's volatility. So you're even probably more volatile with MicroStrategy. But volatility is vitality, it's said, and volatility creates the premiums for the options that I tend to use to supplement my income. So I don't mind volatility. It's to me is a real benefit. When volatility is quite high, say higher than normal, that's when I really look to sell calls because you get a good premium. And when volatility is really lower than normal, you shy away a little bit, maybe buy some back even because they're cheaper to buy back. So, but anyways, that's how volatility works for me with Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. Now with Tesla's of all of them is the least volatile, but I believe for long term is going to be a fantastic investment. Now, when I say, a 20x on Tesla, don't be surprised you get a 10 to 15x on, Bitcoin at some point in the next 5 years. So just that, as Jamie says, Tesla might be the fastest horse in the race. So we'll see. But being diversified in both, hey, only takes one winner. Jack Bree dropped out. Yeah, maybe it did drop out before. I think we're back, though. Chuck-a-luck. Morning, Brooke. Just got in Friday. Wow, you'll be happy. I've crossed Third Road 4 times now. It's like real life Frogger in the video game. Yeah, you remember that where you had to, watch out for the traffic, jump across. Yeah, you get these 4 lanes, 2 on each side with a median, and those cars are zipping. And the scooters, I mean, you got to be a little careful. So the key is you go to the crosswalks. I'm not out there walking a lot, although a lot of people do. But yeah, you learn pretty quick. Go to the crosswalks, use the lights. They do have the push button in a lot of places to cross the street, so the lights will be in your favor. But if you're attempting just, you come out of some market or business and you want to just hop across the other side, you really got to have your head on a swivel, man. And, you want to be in good shape. If you got hip problems or knee problems or leg problems, you don't want to be trying to cross there because those cars come quick and the scooters come quick. And yeah, they don't necessarily, I mean, they're not going to aim for you, but they're not too concerned about them moving out of the way. It's more you better be moving when they get close. So yeah, you want to watch that with the travel. Blakester Drums, you guys didn't do so bad during COVID. You only had 59,000 deaths. We had 111 million. Where was that? 111 million. Wow, that'd be a third of the states. That can't be the right numbers for the states, but No, what I meant about COVID is it's lucky I was in Florida when that happened. And that's okay. It was March, I believe. So I'm good till April. You normally return home middle of April, latter part of April back to Canada for the summers. Well, everything's going on, and my gym had closed in Florida, as everywhere. Everything was closed, basically. Yeah, it was closed for 2 weeks. And I kept calling Canada on a regular basis, checking in with family up there, and my daughter was up there and friends. Nothing's open. Nope, they're still closed. 2 weeks later. And then April comes along, and it's like 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, and yeah, everything's still closed. Well, Jesus, I made a conscious decision. I think I'm just going to stay here till things get, you know, on the right path up in Canada. It was safer because things were open, people were mobile, things were working. So I did. I think I stayed till July. Um, and then I believe they opened the border where I could either fly or drive. I forget. One year I flew and one year I drove, but back. So, but that continued in Canada for quite a while. I still chuckle about the time, masks were starting to get in a shortage supply. Not so much in Florida. Florida pretty well had access to everything. It was pretty well run down there. I got my shots in Florida. I mean, they were free to Canadians, so that was a good deal. Retirees, that is. And Canada ordered masks from China, to address the shortage. People give people masks, and there were a million masks ordered in. They're all fake. So that just shows you why weren't these inspected prior? And it's just Canada was maybe too late to the game. But anyways, that's over and done with. Richard Woolley, the flu kills that many every year. Okay, the flu bug crossed the planet probably. Yeah, I mean, I think if you eat healthy, exercise, I'm not big on shots. So, it was kind of like I had to get that COVID to travel. I was going to the Philippines. I was going back to Canada, coming back to the States, for the next winter, let's say. And it was mandatory. You had to have your vaccine and you had to show it. Otherwise, you couldn't travel. You couldn't even get in the country. So, but other than that, I don't get a flu shot. Sometimes my doctor will shake his head. Well, I don't get sick, doc. I don't get the flu. And I think the key is if you keep the stress levels down, eat healthy, exercise regularly, and you're going to keep that body working. So that's no, I'm not big on drugs. And when anyways, Freddie Quinn, there's Freddie. Hi, Brooke. To do a short-term rental in the low season, is the Riviera or Copacabana? Are you likely able to do better with or without the use of an agent? Okay. I I've never used an agent. No, and I don't think you need to. As I said many times in the past, you fly in here, get a 2-night, 3-night at one of the hotels, wherever you want to locate. You got a roof over your head, and you get out the next day and you start walking and knocking on doors. You go to the Riviera, you go to the Copacabana, you start talking to people in the Facebook groups. Say, hey, what are who do I see? What options? You might be able to do a sublet. That's how we found ours. Now some places we did use agents, just to see, but you got to remember, guys, an agent's taking a cut. So your best deal is going to be eliminating these overheads. Typically, I think the cut, if they do a year lease, it's 1 month. So, that's money that's obviously they got to recuperate. So, if I was doing it, no, I wouldn't recommend an agent. I would do what I said. I'd come here for 2 or 3 days. So say I was going to go to Phuket or Udon Thani or Bangkok, I would do that. I would rent a hotel for 2 or 3 days, get out, either on a scooter or walking or whatever. Bolts are cheap here, and start hitting these places, knock on the doors, go into the jurisdiction. Hey, is there anybody renting here? Is there any a billboard where they might have rentals? And if you're dealing with the owner one-on-one and you got the money in the bank, you're probably going to get a deal. Now, high season, it's more expensive because everyone knows that they're going to rent them. So, but you come out early, like I rented May 1st. That's the start of low season. So your options are immense, and you're going to get your best deals in low season by far. Book for a year if you can, if you like the place. And yeah, so that's what we did, and it worked. Those are both nice places, Riviera and Copacabana. And I think guys are building a new one of each of those, believe it or not. There's several Rivieras, and there's definitely going to be more than one Copacabana, but they're very popular resorts, upper scale, upper end, I would say, beachfronts typically. And, you pay a little more there than you would at, say, Dusit or Laguna across the road from us here. But I think you could walk into any of these places and definitely have a good chance of getting a rental. Now, obviously, studios are for one person, I would say. One bedrooms, you can put two in depending on the size. Those are the most popular, those two. I'm in a 2-bedroom, so they don't build as many 2 bedrooms in any of the units, obviously, and you're going to pay a little more, but we like it for the size. 843 Photography. Any thoughts on the new REX Bitcoin Corporate Treasury Convertible Bond ETF BMAX? Absolutely none. I didn't even know they had that. So maybe I have to take a look at that. I'm not big on preferred stocks or bonds. If I was to do an ETF personally, it's probably going to be the IBIT or the FBTC, which is Fidelity's same as IBIT. Those are, those are pure Bitcoin plays. So sounds like this REX Bitcoin Corporate Treasury Convertible. So I think what they do, like companies like MicroStrategy, who I'm sure they'll have a whack of their bonds, these convertible bonds, they'll issue these. And typically he's paying 0% interest on those convertibles. So, they think the stock price is going to, appreciate it is what it is. But no, I don't have enough information on that. 843, I'd have to do some research. But yeah, it's good. You obviously are doing something right. You're looking into alternatives that might generate a great, income for you. I don't know on anything like that. I think have your key core holdings as Bitcoin. In my case, obviously Tesla would be big. And you keep these other ones to a minor percentage. In case they don't work out, you're not, like I keep a very small amount in what I call the Bitcoin miners. And to be honest with you, they generate a bit of income on the calls, but the stock price is, languishing. So, but good news, I don't have a lot in it. So there you go. That was the advice I took on that. Kenny Beck, heard you mention MSTY a few times. Yes, I have. I've been researching it to see if it makes sense to buy. Okay, well, I can tell you, Kenny, a lot of people here, a lot of subscribers, after they did their due diligence and research, did buy it. And they seem to be quite happy with it. It's a stock price. Well, here's the key. MSTY, guys, is I call it a play on MicroStrategy. The key benefit, it issues a distribution every month, and it has consistently. Now, unfortunately, because MicroStrategy has been going down in price the last few months, the volatility is, it's still somewhat quite high, but it has been decreasing. And the MSTY distribution is based on income they earn from trading options on the MicroStrategy. Well, as your option premium goes down, the distribution has gone down. So I think last month was $1.37 US. The month before was 202. And the month before that, $2.27, and then before that was $3, and before that was $4. So they had a couple of $4 payments. So it's consistently gone down, but so is the share price of MSTY. So you can actually buy more shares with a lower price, and even though the dividends dropped or distributions dropped, you still come out pretty good. Now, even at the $1.37, the last payment, I think the return, when you figure it out over a year, is 89% return on your investment. Whoa, you ain't gonna find that anywhere. So that's why a lot of people, they like the huge return they tend to get. They like the fact that it's monthly. They can count on it. What you can't count on is what the distribution will be each month, and you can't count on what the share price will be each month. So you got to kind of look now, where do I see MSTY going? And again, this isn't financial advice. This is just from what I see happening with the underlying elements. Is I can see if you can buy MSTY under $20, I think it's a steal. As MicroStrategy eventually doubles, it will, you're going to see MSTY get a big slug of that as well as their distributions go up. So it is kind of a good time, I think. But then everything's down, isn't it, guys? Tesla's down, Bitcoin's down, MSTY's down. Well, when's the time to buy? When things are down. So yeah, I would take a look at that. I do have good friends, subscribers that have been in MSTY for a while. And my God, I think in 9 months, they got all their money back. So now they're playing with house money and they have their investment. You know what I mean? Just the distributions over 9 months paid their total investment back to them. And it is classified as pure income. It's not a dividend income, guys. So you're going to have to report that as income, additional income on your tax returns, and there'll be a tax component. In my case, as a Canadian, I was told I missed that on my research. I put it in a tax-free account. I'm thinking, oh, good. Oh, this is tax-free now. Hold it. The U.S., because it was issued out of the U.S., they took their kick at the cat, called it withholding tax, and I was told it'd be 30%, and I'm just about ready to lose it. But it turned out it was only 15 because we have a tax treaty. So you want to check into the tax implications depending where you live, and go from there and make your own call. But do your research too. Don Delonic, Brooke, I hope you are sitting down. In my tax-deferred Fidelity 401, 401k, I think they call that, I sold a high-flying gold royalty company up 200% and bought 530 shares of MSTY on Blood Monday, over 15% in free shares. Well done. Yeah. And that's a lot of people will do that. They'll pick up a few hundred shares of MSTY. Don did some trading there, and so this month he's going to get about $700 worth of dividends, distributions, let's say. Now in the big months, Donnie, he would have got over 2,000 US on the monthly. So I know a buddy of mine, Joe from England, he's got I think he's got close to 1,000 shares. So no, he I think they pay you guys it's converted whatever currency. So because he's based in England, I think he gets his in pounds when it's converted. But well done, Donnie. A lot of people too, what they do with that MSTY, and maybe you're looking at it, Don, is they, maybe you don't need the extra money that month. Well, they turn around, take the distribution, buy more shares. So they're increasing their share count. They're also increasing the amount they get paid on. So, the next month they might have, 600 shares instead of 530. And, you'll get more per month than typically, especially when the distributions go up. So well done on that, Donnie. Jeffrey Siegler, hello, Brooke. I am also a follower of Jamie, Invest Answers, and own a big 4 that he recommends. So he recommends Bitcoin, MicroStrategy he's big on, Tesla he's big on, and Solana he's big on. So I'm not saying he has equal weight on them all, but he's definitely big in them all. And why he's picked these segments, in my opinion, and he's found out after his research, and you talk about in-depth research, he really analyzes everything. He's got charts out the yin-yang, and he's been right. So Jesus, proof's in the pudding, guys. you know, and he's been doing this for years, and he got in early. I mean, he got into Tesla, you know, $100, Solana, $8, MicroStrategy, you know, under 100, you know. So he's done well, and he knows what he's doing. I do have some MSTY, which he does not recommend. I will say this, it's not that well, okay. He recommends what he owns, obviously. So he doesn't need a monthly check. Trust me, Jamie has done well enough that he doesn't need a monthly check from MSTY. So his viewpoint is, well, hold it. I have an option of buying MSTY, or I can buy more Tesla because it's down, or Solana because it's down. So that's what he looks. He says, what's the faster horse in the race? Well, to him, he don't care for MSTY. He'd rather have way more Tesla because he thinks it's a hell of a buy. And when Bitcoin's at 84, it's a hell of a buy. And MicroStrategy at 240 is a hell of a buy. So that's where he's comparing, Jeffy. Now, not everybody's the same. Most of the subscribers here, obviously, we're not in the league of Jamie for millions of dollars invested in each category. A lot of us are looking for just a monthly stipend, something we can increase along with a future. It's nice to have as much as we start with today in 2 years, hopefully more, and we've lived a nice, comfortable life off what we've made. So that's where the MSTY comes in for guys that want to supplement, say, their pensions, that can use an extra check. I know Joe, when I think he got his second dividend, he said, Jesus, that extra money really comes in handy. So, a lot of people think like that, where, hey, this extra income, because the return is phenomenal when you give it over a 12-month period. So, but yeah, no, it's not for everybody's cup of tea. After that first issue, I got one MSTY check. And then when I had the tax implications, okay, I don't need this bullshit. And I was able to get out. I kept my, dividends. It's in a tax-free. So when I take that money out, it's tax-free. But I switched that back into MicroStrategy and Tesla because I said, hey, I don't need that extra check from MSTY. I do okay with the option premiums I get. I think more long-term, hey, and I saw more of a long-term future with the others. So bingo. But everybody's different. Stu Level, XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, all part of this new financial system, cold wallet, and wait. A lot of people think like that, Stu. I think those have to do with the competition for, is it Stripe, or, the financial system the U.S. kind of runs throughout the planet, and they think that XRP will be a big benefit. Some of the banks and big ones in the planet are using XRP, and I think that's where the interest comes from. The little research I did on XRP, and it was mainly after Don was on the channel and he was so committed, I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I better have a look at this, do my own research. And obviously, Jamie has different views, but, it's good to do your own. And I looked into it, and God damn it, they had a billion tokens issued or available, and only half of them were issued. So they've got the rest of them sitting there. So you don't really have a supply shortage, do you? They can kind of issue it anytime they want. And that's what I'm afraid of. I prefer things with a limited supply, but hey, we're all different. So good luck to you. Hope that works out, Stu. Alfa Romeo, I agree with you, Brooke. I just keep chipping away and keep buying Bitcoin, but I do feel better on the dips. Well, there's a reason you feel better on the dips. Yes, I got in there on the lows. And then a week later, if it's below that buy price, and you go, shit, why didn't I wait? But then just look at the averaging. I mean, I used to feel that way, Romeo, and I was mad sometimes, but I've realized after many, many, many years, just buy and hold. The less trading I do now, the better off I am. So that typically can be true for a lot of us. If you can get assets that you want to stay in long-term, buy them and hold them. Don't trade them. You're going to be better off. Now, obviously, we do need what's called lifestyle chips. So you do need to take some money off the table, for certain purchases, whether it's a home or vehicles or simple retirement. Well, then you gotta, that's why you have these investment vehicles to allow you to do that. So, Coop and I have a friend, a German fellow, and he's into Bitcoin, and he never discusses how much he has, but he's been in it quite a while, and he lives in Thailand. And what he does, he takes out 100,000 a year, probably US, to live on in Thailand, and he converts that to Thai baht. So that's every year he does that, and he has said that. But every year, at the end of the year, I have more money than I did at the start. Invested, that is, invested. So his investments continue to go up. He takes out the 10, investment will drop the next day. But then by the end of that year, 12 months later, it's gone back up. And he's strictly in Bitcoin. So that's his play on the future. But anyways, everyone's different. Steve Dice, happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes, I guess it is St. Patrick's Day. I'm glad there are some restaurants serving the traditional meal. You can pretty well get any meal here from any country on the planet, which is nice. Unlike the Philippines, man, it was a totally different kettle of fish over there, you'd say. But no. And I did see I think the BBC was reporting it on the live news here. Chicago with their waterways were all green, because they pump this vegetable dye. So I guess it's safe for the environment, but into the water, and it turns it all green. And that's their big day over there. So, yep, St. Patrick's Day meals are available. Don Delanic, I bought MSTY for the monthly welfare check. Yes, Donnie, that's correct. I have had extreme financial stress, hopefully not lately. My expensive rent, I think he's being joking here. My expensive rent at Dusset Grand Park 2 is $300 a month US. I was worried my maid and massage lady wanted a 20 baht a week raise. Very stressful. Yeah, Donnie's making a joke there, fellas. Okay. Yeah. Well, your 560 shares or whatever it was of MSTY will more than pay your rent, as well as your maid service and your massage lady every week, I believe. I first met Donnie. I was in the pool with Cooper. The funny story, guys, I'll tell you it real quick. And we're sitting there in the pool in the shade, and this guy comes walking down with one of these 4 walkers, right? And he's walking along with this thing slowly. And he stopped. He recognized us, and we chatted with him. And good to see you, Don. And I think you're gonna love it here. And he was happy. He was from Hawaii, but he found out later. He said, "Oh yeah, God, it's expensive as poison in Hawaii." And that's why he was here. Well, it turned out after, and jumping ahead now, he was in tough shape physically. But boy, he got in the pool, no stress here in Thailand. And Donnie now he threw away the walker after probably a couple months or whatever, and he's doing the dancing. He's having a ball here. Loves the pools, gets his massage every week, and he's having a ball. And when you talk to him about Hawaii, he loved Hawaii, but he said, Brooke, it just priced itself out of sight. And I was in Hawaii, and I knew what he meant. Like, it's damn expensive. But yeah, good luck to you there, Donnie. And Donnie's older than me, and we're still pretty young, aren't we? Chuck a luck. I'd be selling everything this cycle, excluding Bitcoin, roll that into low-risk accounts and enjoy life. Then rebuy alts when the crash comes, because it will come. Well, Chucky, I don't know about that. If you're in good products, obviously you're not selling your Bitcoin. That's a smart move. But then I'm not going to sell my Tesla. And I don't have Solana to speak of, but I don't think I'd be selling it, because I do think those are futures in that. And what I did find, I said that earlier, Chuck a luck, the less trading I did in life, the better. And why I say that, obviously, if you need money, hey, you got to buy something, you need it to live on, you got to sell. But if you don't have to sell, what's the urgency? If you're in good products for the long term, stay long term. You know, I'm not able, and probably most of us aren't able to. This is the bottom and guarantee it. This is the top and guarantee. We can't do that. We can't. I mean, they got computer algorithms that are trying to do that. They got, you know, multi huge investment houses trying to do that. Private money, billions trying to do that. Well, let them do it. They got more assets to research than I do and more ways to look at it than I do. So I simply prefer a buy and hold strategy, figuring, hey, if I've done my research right, I'm in the right products, I'll be okay. And so far, so good. Now, the other thing I tell you that I've learned, and I used to think I needed, more diversified I was, the better. Yeah, well, I had like probably 40 stocks and I had, 2% in each. Well, shit, that was a waste of time. Um, Jamie is in right invest answers. Look at, you do your research, you find the winners, you stick with them. So he's only like he's got the four big he holds, and that's it. And that's where the probably 98%, 95% at least of his portfolio is invested in things that he has done his own research, has total belief in it. And his point is, hey, when you find that, you go in, you go hard. Okay. And I believe it. I agree with the guy when you find the right one. So, and I did that with Bitcoin years ago. I went in, I found it, did my research. I wasn't a believer at first, but after doing that, I probably, thousands of hours now. Total confidence, total belief, go in, go hard. Jeff Trio, hi, Brooke. I was wondering, what is the dollar rate over there in the land of smiles? Oh, I can see. I think it, oh shit, there it was. Dollar rate, it was around 33.8, I believe, a while back. So it hovers around 34. I'm talking US dollar to the Thai baht, around 34, a little under, a little over at times. Canadian, obviously, I don't trust the Canadian peso, so I keep my investments in US dollars, but I think it's trading 21, something like that, 22, maybe 23. Again, I don't follow it that much, but you can easily pull them up. I do use Wise. So Wise, I get a sent every day, an update on what the exchanges are. So, if I need to exchange some money, I'll use, and I do it through Wise because I find their rates very good. But there's a lot of options on that. I was kind of ticked at Wise, was taking a while. So I did a little bit through Remitly one time. And it's fine. The rate was, the rate's real good. But then you look at their fees. Well, shit, it was still better with Wise, even if I had to wait. So, but yeah, there are a lot of options on that. I do recommend that Wise if you haven't got it, especially if you're traveling, guys. Sign up for the Wise in your home country. Hopefully, I got a card, so I can use that, although they do have digital ones now. And you should be able to use that throughout the planet. So, Alpha Male, say hello to Jackie for me. Yes, Jackie's my wife. Damn it. Shit, how do I get back there? Stage. Okay. All right. That was my fault. Where are we here? Okay. There we are. Robert Tatum, no double taxation for me. That's what put a hold on me retirement in Thailand for now. Okay, Robert, there's no double taxation here. Don't worry about that. You get a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt put out in the media. I have never met, encountered, or come across anyone, expat, who has filed taxes here, paid any taxes here, or is threatened by taxes here. Unless it's published in the Royal Gazette, it's all FUT. And the latest information is they're not even looking at it anymore. Everything's been put on hold. You got to figure, Robert, if expats, if anybody was to try and tax us in a separate country for visiting, being a tourist, possibly staying for 6 months or longer, and they want to tax us as well as our home country, say goodbye, say goodnight, Dick. Yeah, you're going to be out of there. Let your feet do the walking. So I wouldn't let that fear, uncertainty, and doubt FUD run your life for you. Come over on a holiday, visit, see if you like Thailand. If you like Thailand, hey, get an agent, get a education visa, short-term visa, whatever, decide, so you can stay, and life goes on. And the minute you think you're gonna have to pay taxes over and above your home country, you'll be like me. You'll be getting on the next plane out of there. And these countries, when they're tourism-based economies, they're not going to do that. Trust me. And Thailand is huge on their economy. I think 30% of their whole economy is tourist-based. So the last thing they're going to do is rock that boat. Yeah. Blakester Drums got into crypto in January after watching your videos. Well, good for you. Well done, Blakester. Unfortunately, at the peak. Don't worry. Buy and hold. Claude, mostly back. I'm doing a 3-year make as much as I can. So most of my eggs are in XRP. Oh, be careful on that. That's the only thing I'll say. See, I have certainty that Bitcoin will be here. I do not have certainty XRP will be. That's why I say be very careful and do a lot more research. I don't know about all your eggs in that basket, but hopefully you got your Bitcoin. So Don Delano bought MSTY on Blood Monday. So we got on the 10th of, okay, and you got a dividend on record of the 13th. So you got under the wire. That's me. Fidelity 401 got money 2 a.m. pre-market purchase 1890. Well done. So yeah, Donnie got in under the $20, 1890. That's a steal for MSTY. So if you follow it, and here's the other little thing to do, guys, is if you're thinking about an investment, you do your research, you watch it, but then keep watching, watch what that stock price does. You don't have to panic to get in necessarily, but if it's out of, like, I was watching MSTY at 20, 21, 22, and it got down to 18, 19. Shit, that's a buy. But because of the issues I had with the taxation in the retirement account and U.S. withholding, see, if you're a U.S. guy, you don't get that withholding. They get 100% of the dividend, those rascals. Then they got to worry about their tax when they file. But so yeah, well done, Donnie. Wait line, MSTY is literally blocked for UK tax residents. I'm jealous of you guys. Yeah, like Donnie did say that IBKR is his platform. He was able to set it up, was able to buy, and then he got a call and says, look, we're not going to make you sell it, but you can't buy anymore. I thought, what a country the UK is to do that to their consumers. So there you got a country telling their people what they can and can't buy with their own money. That's ridiculous. I understand maybe not as bad as that. I don't think it is as bad, but Australia's not far off. Like, they're not real big on you owning Bitcoin or, some of these other shares. But luckily in the West, Canada, I don't have a problem. And, obviously the Americans don't. But, yep, it's not for everybody across the planet. Governments say. Jeff Trujillo, no taxes for under 150K. That is going to happen in the new bill. There you go. Yeah, well, I don't think we're making 150,000 American bringing in anyways. We'll see. Yeah, I don't believe anything, Jeff, until it's actually announced in the Royal Gazette, and they'll give plenty of notice when that's happening. Good day, Malcolm. Malcolm Hawkins from Tasmania. Maybe I don't know if you're still there, Malcolm, or you're up in Queensland area now. He says, "Good day, young Brooke." Yeah, I'm a youngster, just like you, Malcolm. Malcolm, and I will tell you, I had breakfast at the Kiwi Wombat Bar. That is a great restaurant, guys. For any is in the area, you probably all know it if you're here, and if you don't, when you get here, it's a good Aussie bar. Great breakfast, and that wasn't where I was getting $1.20 for the. You get 3 sausages, 2 eggs, you get toast, coffee, juice. It was pretty good deal. They've raised that to $1.50 now, 150 baht. So I guess I don't know I don't think the price of eggs are up. I don't buy them. Jackie does, but anyways, things are up a little bit. Jeff Trio, I'm thinking of putting in 10,000 into MSTY and turn on the drip. I don't know if they have drip, Jeff. You'd have to check into that. Someone asked me that prior, and I couldn't find it on their platform. So you might just have to get your dividends and then just buy yourself. So drip is dividend reinvestment program, guys. And not every company has it. The ones that do are typically good, and people like it. Putting in $950 a month till I reach 60 grand in it. I have 12 years to retirement. Thoughts? Okay, Jeff. Well, that's interesting. If you're not needing the money, I don't know if I'd be doing that. Because you're a long way from retirement. You're like 12 years. I would say you'd be much better off to simply buy, for example, Bitcoin, buy possibly the ETFs if you didn't want to custody the coins, for example, IBIT, or buy MicroStrategy shares, which is a play on Bitcoin. Tesla, obviously, I would look at that and just sit and hold. You got a 12-year retirement. I mean, the longer you can hold these winners, the better you will do. I would think you'd do much better than just having MSTY. For me, MSTY's more for the guy who's in retirement. He needs that money now. I would appreciate that money now, every month, matter of fact, because it's helping his standard of living in retirement. You're 12 years from retirement. So to me, that's more of a retirement stock, Jeffy. So the more I think about that idea you posed, no, I would not do that. Again, everyone's different. You do your research, but think about what I'm saying here. You're not at retirement. You're 12 years. It's not like you're retiring in 12 months. If it was 12 months, well, okay, now you can budget because you got that check every month. You're so far away from that. I think you will do much better in the buy and hold idea of these other stocks. So hopefully that helps a bit. Or, maybe put a small percentage and see how it does. Terry Fallon, good evening, good morning, Brooke, from a rainy and warmer Bancroft. There's Terry, way up in Bancroft, Ontario, snow country. I'll tell you what Bancroft's really good for: hunting, fishing, likely, and snowmobiling. And obviously, it's great in the summertime, probably ideal. But yeah, not my cup of tea. I prefer Thailand in the spring, the fall, the summer, and the winter. You'll love it here too, guys. Get over here. Robert Pierpont, the best traders I watched, said to sell everything about 2 months ago, and they were right. Any stock guys that told people to hold 2 months ago are not the great at the market. Okay, so you're talking here, Robert, about traders. I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term investor. And long-term investors, they're typically not worried about the fluctuations. Sure, there'll be ups and downs. Everything does have its day, but here's how the markets work. They slowly go up. Take a look, at the S&P and Dow. Go back 10 years, 20, 30, 40, 50. Every 10 years, you'll see them progressively going up. So the trend is to increase. So if you're a trader, you try and time the market. That's not what I'm into. I tried that. It don't work. So, you'll have guys that, oh yeah, sell everything, wait on this. And God bless them if they're right. But I don't want to take that risk. What if they're wrong and I'm out of the market? You don't want to be out of the market. There's a saying, and it's absolutely true. It's statistically proven. The you need to be in these stocks such as MicroStrategy, Tesla, NVIDIA. There's 10 days a year that you make your money. And if you're not in the market in those 10 days, forget it. You're probably breaking even, if that, maybe down. So it's not that they, you just, I'm not able to time the market. So therefore, I don't want to trade. I do know that long-term holding of these good stocks for me works for me. That's just me. Everyone's different. So there is day traders, people I've met that they love it. They trade gold or whatever, NVIDIA, some of them. And, okay, they have their system and hopefully it works for them. But I don't want to get stressed out or worry about it. I go to bed and I sleep good. I don't care what happens to the price of MicroStrategy or Bitcoin. Why? Because I know where it's going to be 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And where is that? It's going to be a hell of a lot higher than it is today, guys. And that little thing I said earlier, we're going to look back here in those time periods and say, how did I miss that? The writing was right there in front of me. All the arrows were pointing. Look we got the government behind it. We got the companies behind it. We got states behind it. We got sovereign wealth funds behind it. We got pension funds behind it. What was I missing? How did I not see the writing on the wall? And they'll be kicking themselves. It was so clear. But where are we here? Anthrop Morton here. And he says, hey, everyone. Brooke, any opinion on bond funds, SP? So here's my view. I've never held bonds, and I'll tell you why. Even when it was recommended, 60-40, remember that old split? 60 stocks, 40 bonds, figuring bonds would cover your butt in severe downturns and, world shakeups. And, I've never held bonds because I never believed that. And it turned out I was right. Bond funds typically have not done well over the long term. It's funny. Way years ago, I had a financial advisor when I first got it. I was working, making decent money, didn't have time to do research. So, it's hired an advisor. And he originally was thinking of bonds. And I said, well, what do you do? He says, well, I put my money in TD Bank stock. He worked for the bank, right? Investment advisor. I says, why is that? Because he says the dividends I get on that is higher than the payment on the bond. So I thought, well, shit, if I can make as much money in the stock on the dividend that's yearly as they pay me on the bond, at least I got upside with the stock. You ain't got no upside on the bond. Typically it's, $100 issued, $100 what you'll get when it matures. So, yeah. All right. And Robert says, cash is king right now. That's correct. Sell cash, secured puts. Okay. Or call credit spreads and earn interest on the collateral. I only kept my 1,400 shares of MSTY and 40 shares of MicroStrategy. Everything else is in cash secured puts. Okay, so that's something to look into, guys, for your options. I started off with cash secured puts when I started trading. And what happens, just real briefly, and again, do your research if you're looking at that. If you've got 10,000 in the bank and it's sitting there in the trading account, and you have to get approved for this, guys, with your trading platform. And I mean by that, approved to trade options. You could say, well, look at Tesla's at 250. I know 200 would be a screaming buy. I'll sell puts for $200. So which means you're committed to buy that stock at $200 if it drops that price. And the expiration date is important because how far out is that? So anyways, but again, that's for another segment. It's a totally different concept, but it looks to me, Robert, that you're getting your monthly dividend, 1,400 shares. That's a nice chug every month. So I don't know if you're retired and looking at that for income or what. 40 shares of MicroStrategy. Hey, I bought 10 shares at a time in Micro. Just keep building it. I'm big in the Tesla right now. Maybe look at Tesla, do some research on that. You might want to diversify a bit. Make the next 10 shares you buy Tesla instead of MicroStrategy. But you're definitely going to be getting a check every month, which is nice. R says, we are not at the bottom yet. I do understand the buy and hold, but the things that are driving down the market have never happened before, and the world is turning on us, and we deserve it. Well, I don't know if we deserve it, but that's an interesting opinion. You might be right. I'm not saying we're at the bottom yet. There's still, Trump's still what I call a wild card, and in a way that's kind of good, but in another way it's not. So the markets tend not to like wild cards. They prefer certainty where they can see the road ahead. But overall, when you step back from it, Trump does believe in the stock market. He has in the past. And although he says things slightly different, correction's good, it's okay to have a recession now and then. A lot of it is, when you look at it, true, but overall, he does believe in the market. So he'll be there to backstop it. But I see interest rates coming down, so that's going to help the market. I see the money printing continuing on the planet. That's going to help Bitcoin. AI technology, that's my other big, input. It's here to stay. So how do we participate in that going forward through the markets? Well, for me, it's Tesla. So again, I'm not a timer, and you've even mentioned that. You do understand the buy and hold. So that's kind of where I come in. As an investor, I'm not a trader. Buy and hold. I do sell options quite a bit to live on. But for example, MicroStrategy at whatever it is, a little under 300 now. I'll sell calls at maybe 30 days out at 600. So it's doubled, and maybe I lose my stock, but hey, it's doubled. If I go further out, and I have done in September, I'll go $800. So it's really got to jump up quite a bit for me to lose my stock. See, I don't really want to lose my stock, and I could roll it up and out and keep it. But if I have to lose it to a call, I want to make good money on it. So that's how I do it. But anyways, everyone's different. So we'll see what the markets hold. We'll see what happens on the markets in the world. I think things will settle down, hopefully, in the Middle East and Ukraine, and hopefully markets will get back to doing what they do best. Hi, Brooke. I hope all is well, sir. Yeah, all is great. And I'll tell you why it's great, because we're in Thailand. Okay. And I tell you, in the Canada and the States, when I wintered there, I wasn't suffering for money. But boy, you sure had the money going out every month, and you were on your toes, man. You were watching for every deal, and 2 cars, 2 car payments, 2 properties, one in Canada, one in the States. You're supporting them. You're paying taxes everywhere. You're paying out the yin yang. And I wasn't suffering, but I wasn't really getting ahead. And the stress in life over there. Why are you stressed? Shit, you got to watch every dollar. You know what I mean? It's expensive to live over there. To live that lifestyle, and the funny thing is, once you get into a lifestyle you like, you don't want to lose it. So luckily, I didn't come here for the money. I came here to meet my last love in the Philippines, and luckily I did that. It just so happened that after a while, shit, you can live here cheap as shit. So we're, I was slowly getting ahead in the West. I jump ahead now because I'm saving so much money, each month. I do make more than I spend in a month, and I reinvest the balance. We don't want for anything, and I'm happy doing that. So it's a great lifestyle in Thailand. A lot of it, if you're in the West and thinking of it, come here on a vacation. I tell people. And you'll get hooked. You'll get hooked on the lifestyle. The weather is ideal. It's like Florida weather year round here. I absolutely love it. I hate the snow. I don't want to see any more if I can help it. If I can wear shorts and a T-shirt every day, I'm a happy camper. The other things, healthcare is fantastic here. No waits. It's cheaper than the West, quicker than the West. State-of-the-art equipment here. You want a nice vehicle? They got all kinds. I used to drive bikes all the time in my younger days, university days. Shit, I'm back doing that. And, have a young wife. It's the reason I came, and that's great. You know, you want to be happy, hang around happy people, and if you want to stay young, hang around young people. So we try and do that. Blakester Drums, instead of Wise, can't you just deposit from your crypto wallet into a Thai bank? I'm sure you could. Um, I I prefer. I tried going from my bank, Blakester, to my Thai bank, and what my bank was going to charge me in fees and exchange was ridiculous. So the banks in Canada, I'm not saying the U.S. now or the world, but Canada, they want to make the money off you while they can. So they're not competitive, let's say, and that's a big reason why these alternatives have popped up. So for me, it's Wise, and you know, I haven't checked lately about sending money directly from my bank over, but I don't hear that they've switched their idea or policy. So I'm happy. Wise for me works. It works slick. The most I've had to wait is maybe 3 days for the money, but that's from the US. If I send it directly from Canada, it's instant. So that to me is nice. Yeah. Jeff Sigler says, Brooke, he didn't mean to say hi to her right now. Okay. I maybe missed that, but talking hi to Jackie, maybe. Okay, there's Big Al. Big Al's my pal. Morning, Brooke. I think that I met the German fellow in the gym. He talked about living off his Bitcoin gains for years now. Interesting chap. Yeah, maybe it's the same guy. I didn't meet this guy in the gym, and I haven't seen him in my gym. But my fellow, he was married to a Filipina, believe it or not, and he had figured out a way to buy a house in Thailand. Now it's through a company, but what he was telling me with the company, and again, I'm not putting this out as gospel. He says, Brooke, the key is the directors. You want to be the first director, because if you can have other ties behind, but it's director number one that makes all the decisions. So make yourself one and your wife number two, and then the other three can be ties. Okay, majority company. But he says those ties could be dead for all you know. They never even involved. But that was his take on it, and he's owned that house for years. Fixed it up the way he wanted. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still a little nervous, but anyways, he's done it. Ken Beck, when a country starts to tax worldwide income, they typically have a tax treaty with other countries. Correct. If the U.S., if you have the pay taxes in another country, you can get a foreign tax credit for USA tax. Correct. Now, I think a lot of the FUD out there, Ken, was that people, the way it maybe was worded or came out as news when it wasn't reality, oh, they're going to start taxing foreigners for bringing money in. Well, hold it now. Bringing money into a country, you arrive on a plane and they want to tax you. I don't think so. So that turned out not to be true. I don't hear any more discussions about this FUD, about taxing. But you're right. Typically, most countries on the planet will have tax treaties with other countries, and it just helps everybody, makes it simple. So to me, you want to stay in retirement. You want to stay in a jurisdiction that is tax friendly. Here, I think we pay a 7% value added tax on what we buy. You don't see it; it's built into the price you pay. So that's kind of nice. So when you're at the supermarket or the shelf or whatever, and it's that price, that's tax included. You buy a vehicle, that's tax included. So they can break it out later in your receipt, but you don't have to worry about paying extra. Canada, whatever price you see, you go to buy it, it's 13% extra. That's a pain in the ass. I hate that. But yeah, you need to be aware of taxes in a country. I file taxes in Canada. They have I do believe in top accountants. They're cheap and they make their money back tenfold. So get a good accountant, in the States, I think they're called CPAs. In Canada, they're CAs, and get them with a big firm so they have a multi-layer technology or areas to go to for certain specifics, and you're better off. But Yeah, we probably all need to file taxes somewhere. I just don't want to file twice. Jeff Sigler, I have Schwab and they allow drip for Misty. Okay, well, that's good to know. So, Jeffy, that's the first I've heard of that. And that's with Schwab. And Schwab is kind of highly rated. I tried to get a Schwab account, as some of you know, and this was in Florida. And as soon as they said, we need your social security number, I said, well, I have a social insurance number from Canada. Oh, sorry, sir. No, unless you have a social security number. In other words, unless you're American, you ain't getting it. And I says, I can't believe that. You guys have a office in Canada. Yes, we do. Had like in Toronto, big office. Oh, what if I call them? Well, you're welcome to try, sir, but that's a business corporate entity only. I did call them. No, sir. You know, Canadians aren't allowed to have Schwab. I thought that was odd. Anyways, Jeff Trio, thanks, Brooke. That helps. Okay, glad to be of help. Okay. Why doesn't that appear? Bear with me here. Okay, here we go. We got to make Brooke get on a plane and fly more than 7 hours away. I will go 8.5 if I have to. Australia is about my limit, but I mean, obviously, if I got to go back to Canada, I'll probably stop over in Vancouver because I think that's from here. It's probably 12 hours, 12.5. So I got family in BC, so I'll stay a couple of days with them. And then I got another 5.5 hour flight to Toronto, and then there's an hour drive to family. So at some point, I'll probably make a visit, but I ain't in a rush. Terry Fallon, Brooke, 2027, my wife retires, and we hope to visit Thailand to see if it's for us. And if it is, we'll move there in 2028. Well, that's a good plan, Terry. Now, if you get a chance and you can do a preliminary visit, even if it's only for a couple weeks, I know a friend of ours, Stevie Richmond from California, he came over for 7 days. And I thought, shit, that's not very long that's a long flight for 7 days. But he had done his research. He had done a lot of research, and he had a checklist, and he wanted those answers to this checklist, like boots on the ground answers. And he said, Brooke, and he'd come out to the pool most days, and that's where we got chit chatting and buddies. And he says, yeah. So he's leaving the next day, and he says, I says, how's the checklist? He says, everything's checked off. He's going back home to sell and come back. So you expect to see him in a couple months. But anyways, the point of that story is you don't need to have a whole 6 months here to decide. Come for a couple weeks even. At least you see the lay of the land. You see the idea, the people, the smiles, the happiness. The weather's great. You'll get kind of hooked on the food. Maybe meet an agent. I use Sing. I love the guy. He's great. I don't have trouble. I don't want trouble. I don't want hassle. I'll pay the guy. So you kind of get a feel. And why I say that, you're actually now more committed. You kind of have certainty on what you're going to do. And the more certainty in life you have, the better, I think. So, but you have your plan. That's okay. So if we don't see you sooner, we'll see you in 27 or early 28, and you'll make a decision then. So a good plan to have, guys. You won't be disappointed. I know someone that does trades on Bitcoin, and she has made money. Sure. She thinks it will drop to 70,000 a coin and then bounce back. I think Tesla will go below 150. Well, everyone's got opinions. I don't see it hitting 70. I mean, I think it did touch 79. So there you go, Are. You're probably right already. I don't think you'll ever see Tesla down that low. Unless they did a big split, and then you're not really down that low anyways. But yeah. Alpha Romeo, Brooke, the Hudson's Bay Company plans liquidation of the entire business in mid-June. Tough times. Do you know the Hudson's Bay Company has been around? I think it's the oldest company in North America, believe it or not. Yeah, I did hear that, Romeo, and it's, hey, just a company that didn't keep up with the times, yeah, just didn't change with the times, and now it's going out of business. Not a big deal. The beach of life. Bro, what happened to your hair? My hair? My hair is grown. I was preferred the number 2 cut is what I get, guys. So it's just a wee little bit of stubble. In Thailand here, you're going to be sweating a bit. So you get long hair, you're going to sweat more than with a buzz cut. A lot of the guys like the buzz cut. If you're referring to the color, it changed that color many, many years ago. I would say decades. So that's the color issue. The quantity has slowly been decreasing. Unlike my Bitcoin holdings, which have been increasing, my hair has been slowly decreasing in certain areas more than others. So, but thank you for noticing it. The beach of life. I think you're a new member, by the way. You got the big smile on there, though. That was funny. Aussie T. Hi, Brooke. Apologies late to the game. Hope everyone is safe and well. Everyone is great here in Thailand. So my Filipino wife, they all love karaoke. They love getting together. Anybody that's got a Filipino wife will know what I'm saying. They love to karaoke together. You put 2 Filipinos in a room, they're going to be talking up a mile a minute. They don't even know each other. But so there's 4 of them here in our building, and I'll tell you, it's a great time. It makes it easy when the women are happy. Happy wife, happy life. It's true, guys. So those girls will karaoke on the roof. They'll cook together. They'll go shopping at the fish market together. They have a ball. And you know what? So do the men. The guys have life's good here. Don Delonic, USA Senate banking approved the crypto bill. Full Senate to vote soon. Okay. Big for Bitcoin and crypto. Yeah, writing's on the wall, guys. Again, we're going to look back a few years and say, Jesus, all the signs are pointing. Why the heck didn't I get in? So at these prices for Bitcoin, I wouldn't be waiting on a $70,000 coin like R is. I'd be saying, hey, maybe it's time to, get some. BlackRock looks to be the 10th XRP ETF application. Yeah, they're looking for Solana ETFs, XRP ETFs. It's interesting. So I'm sure Donnie will be in. He's big on XRP. Lots of crypto for the good cooking in the oven. Yep, that's true. Jeff Trio, hey Brooke, have you heard of Rocket Labs? Are they the ones that do the mortgages in the U.S.? I think Rocket, a group of companies. I believe that's what they are, Jeff. I don't. Although in the past I looked at them. It's been years since I've looked at that. And if they're not the mortgage lender finance arm, I don't know. I'm not whether they're into rockets or not. I doubt it, but that's the only one that I can think of. Big Al, Canadians are funny, hating Trump, not realizing he has a heavy load to take care of. It's all a distraction. We should focus on our own corrupt politicians. I totally agree, Al. I hear what these this Doge is finding in the U.S. spending, and where that money was going was in many cases ridiculous. And you make you think, well, shit, what if Canada is doing the same? What if, probably it's all worldwide. There's cases like that. Maybe Canada needs its own Doge department is my point. Because we seem to be spending money left and right. British Knight, Morning Brooke. For us Brits that can't buy MSTY, there are other yield max covered call ETFs that provide monthly income that you can buy. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Yield Max is the mothership. Let's say the company that issues these ETFs. Yield Max is the name. You can Google that, and they'll have a whole list. I mean, they cover Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, MicroStrategy, obviously. There's a whack of them, and that's only half a dozen. They got like 20 or 30 that they cover. AMD, so there's a whack. All your big ones, Microsoft, sorry. But yeah, take a look at them, and they all pay monthly. That's the key. Now, some of them, like you can even get they call it the Magnificent Seven. They have a Yield Max ETF on just the Magnificent Seven that pays a monthly check. So you're pretty, but obviously the less volatile and less risky, the lower the payouts. Those payouts are quite low, but still monthly. So yeah, it's worthwhile checking it out, guys, if you need that monthly income. R says, hey, get Coop to interview a lawyer and you can ask all your housing questions and get free advice. That's a good tip, R. Yeah, lawyers, yeah, you'd want a good English speaking lawyer, but one that understands the law. But I'll definitely recommend it, suggest that to him, because that actually is good. You'll get a legal advice. I know he's had Sing on a few times from an agent's point of view, and he's a sharp boy. But when it comes to the housing, you definitely want to get a lawyer. Sing ain't going to be able to help you, in my opinion, with buying a house too much. Maybe you can do companies. I don't know. I haven't asked him, but definitely the lawyer. Yeah, if you're going to buy any real estate here, guys, you definitely want to get a good lawyer. DJ on the bounce. Fidelity has dripped too. Okay, well, that's good to know. DJ again, on a more important point, are we still on for breakfast at 11? Man, I could use a good breakfast, but Coop usually drives there, so I'll probably, and here's the thing. I love the bike and I would come, but Jackie hates that far. She'll be okay local around the bike, but the farther we go, and you got the damn railway tracks over there, it's like 4 lanes of crossing with no lights, and everybody's doing 60 mile an hour. So it's a crazy. I can't understand why that intersection does not have lights, or at least a officer directing traffic. But so I'd probably say today I'll pass. I'll see about next week, but that's just me. There's lots of other guys go there. The breakfast is great, I will say that. It's at Route 66 on the dark side, so it's a bit of a jaunt for me. But here's the key, and I love their coffee is great, and it's unlimited cup when you buy the breakfast. So it's the only place I found in Thailand where I can get unlimited coffee, and it's good. So that's the more I talk about it, geez, I'm almost thinking maybe I should go. We'll see. I don't think she'll want to go, though. Robert Pierpont at Jeff Trio, I sell lots of Rocket Lab puts. It's been a great moneymaker for me with puts. Okay, so Robert's selling the puts, collecting a premium. He's put his price probably lower when it's trading at, and it's, I guess, not that volatile where he just keeps selling. They expire worthless. So when an option expires worthless and you've collected premium's all yours to keep. Terry Fallon, thanks, Brooke. Maybe we should do our initial trip in 26 and try to move it up a year. Oh yeah, the sooner you can retire, the better, because you're adding 1 year of top fitness in retirement. The best years of your life are the next 5 years, 10 years, right? They're better than a year would be extra 30 years from now. You're physically and mentally maybe not as stable as you are today. So that's why an earlier retirement is better than a later retirement for enjoyment. Now, moving the trip up, at least you'll get boots on the ground. You'll get all your questions answered. I mean, occasionally, and this is very rare, I think I know of 2 cases, people have come to Thailand with this intent of retiring, realize it's not for them. The one person couldn't stand the humidity, the climate. Personally, I got acclimated damn quick, and most of us do. But that was their situation, their issue. The second one was an asthmatic issue where the burning season threw them way out of whack. They obviously had serious health problems prior to coming, and maybe just hadn't done enough research or thought they were far enough away and jumped into the issue with burning season. I've never had a problem with burning season. I don't notice any issue. That person did. So, but that's why boots on the ground early gives you an idea, and you will, I'm sure, like most of us, be pleasantly surprised. It'll give you reality, and boy, there's nothing better than having reality on something. Otherwise, it's it's research, it's videos, it's word of mouth, it's, you know, listening to these type of things, broadcasts. But until you're actually experiencing and it's real for you, boots on the ground, it will help, in my opinion. And as far as moving up retirement, obviously most of us plan for retirement, at least I did, in my own country, Canada. Well, I needed this much money and I want to do this. And well, you realize later in life, shit, I didn't need all that money after all. I should have retired 5 years sooner. You know, why? Because in Thailand, you can live cheaper, which means you don't need as much invested. So if you can move your retirement up 1 year, I keep telling Romeo, he's 2 years away. I says, buddy, keep buying your Bitcoin. You're probably only a year away. You should plan for that. And hopefully I'm right, because he would love it. He loves Thailand. So anyways, good plan you have there, Terry. Aussie T, wife and I applied for our WISE accounts in Australia. Digital card within minutes. Excellent. Physical card arrived 4 days later. Wow, that's good news. So there you go. There's a happy guy with WISE. I know I had to wait a while in Canada for my card. Some people say there's a waiting list for the card, but the digital card, yeah, it's good to have both, I guess. And I don't have a digital one. I simply have the physical, but I don't think it's too hard getting a digital. But anyways, there's a happy camper, and good on you, Aussie T. Robert Nutt, I'll be arriving in May and we'll be staying in Thailand. I am not really a strict planner. I am more like Winnie the Pooh. I do have a girlfriend there to help us guide and translator. Yeah, having a girlfriend here is great because to understand Thai for a non-Thai is tough, at least was for me. There is Google Translate, so there is options. You can get translators, guys, that can be helpful. So, but yeah, having a Thai girlfriend. And when you're here, you're going to see, as I did, there's beautiful, beautiful women here. Yeah, so, and like the Philippines, for example, and maybe other parts of Asia, I don't know. I'm familiar with the Philippines and here. Similar to the Philippines, they're not too concerned about age, appearance. Obviously, they're looking for a kind person, treat them well, and financially stable. It's probably a tougher life for them here if they're, trying to live on what they make as an average here, which is, I think, $300 a month is an average, maybe. So, yeah, they're. You'll get the right, and you get the right lady, it's a happy life, trust me. And there's lots of people here, and there's horror stories. People have, what I tell people, don't get stuck with the bar girls, and if they got tattoos, be very careful. So anyways, that's just my 2 cents on that. They are great to have translating, though. Alpha says, the little food munchkin says hello to you and Jackie. Yes, say hello to the pin for us. She's a sweetheart, that one. An excellent translator, although Romeo does understand a bit of Thai now, I think. They've been together for years, so that's good. There's good ones out there, and he's got one. Have you told Mama Alpha that you're engaged yet? Or, oh, well, that's a secret. Tommy Lee, there's that smile. Tommy the Tominator. Hello, Brooke. Hello, Tommy. Robert Pierpont, Brooke, no, Rocket Lab is not mortgages. They make gear for space. Thanks for clearing that up. There's Rocket Mortgages. Maybe that's what I was thinking of, Robert. Sorry about that. But you've done well with selling the puts. Hey, what's working? Keep it going. Terry Fallon, signing off for tonight. Yeah, I don't know what time we're an hour and 48, so it is quite a while. When's your next live stream? Next live stream, thanks for asking that, by the way, Terry, is next Saturday. It'll be 8 o'clock Saturday night here. So it's, 9 in the morning, I guess, Western, West in the West. And thanks again for mentioning that. So also, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it makes Darlene smile. I think she is catching this somewhere. They're on a cruise and they're on a boat. So Coop said, hey, Brooke, you'll be on your own. You'll be on your own Monday because I'm on the water, and the Wi-Fi ain't real good on the water. That's for damn sure. So, but I think he's back in a couple weeks. I got a few of these. I got 2 or 3 or 4 I got to do. which is okay. Tommy Lee, okay, just bought some Bitcoin. Well done, Tommy. Steak dinner on me if it hits 100K. Well, shit, it's going to hit that pretty damn soon, Tommy. Yeah, so don't worry. And yeah, we'll go to the Argentine steakhouse on the half price Tuesday and save you some money. But well done, Tommy. And buy and hold, don't trade it, and you're going to be okay. Aussie T, YMAG. There you go. That's the yield max on the Magnificent 7. Oh, it pays weekly. My mistake. I thought it was monthly. YM's Mag 7 ETF. There you go. Thanks for that update, Aussie. Yeah, if you guys are looking, as I said, now if you're 5 years from retirement or 10 years, I would stick with the stock and just let them ride. But if you're in retirement or you're shortly going to be in retirement, as Aussie T mentions, there's one, the YMAG, and it's pretty safe, I think, because it's, it does the Magnificent 7 stocks, the NVIDIAs, the Apples, the Amazons, the Alphabets. It pays weekly. Now, it's not going to be a huge return, but at least you get a weekly check. So yeah, if you're in retirement or close to it, looking for a monthly supplement of income, look at this Yield Max program. Pick maybe one you like, but watch it. Do your research, look at it, follow it, see what the price is. I tend to look, when I did my research on that, okay, what are the payouts? I want as far back as I could find them, list them, and what was the stock price? What was it issued at? What's the history of it since it's been issued? And follow it. It's all great and dandy if you're getting $2 a month in a dividend or distribution, let's say, unless the stock price is dropping $2. Well, then you're just getting your money back. You're not making anything. So you want to be a little careful on that. What's the stock price done along with what's the dividends done? So, and yeah, good to look at. When I move there, I will have a lawyer on retainer and just to teach me the super basics of the law. Well, aren't you there? I don't know anyone here who has a lawyer on retainer, so I'll probably hang with you, R. Okay. Yeah, I know they do that in the West sometimes, but if you're going to buy real estate or get involved in a business, there's another thing. Don't get involved in a bar business. Too many friends I know have, lost their shirts in that. Yeah. Anyways, get a good lawyer. Jeff Trio, Rocket Labs is a company that puts commercial satellites into space. Well, they're probably in the right game then. Definitely. Good point, Jeff. And thanks for mentioning that. Maybe I'll look at that. I did a little research on the first steps of looking into and owning an assisted living facility. I smiled when I found out the average Thai doctor makes $67,000 US. This is so doable. Yeah, they're doctors. And here's the funny thing I found out. Bangkok hospital, state of the art here. Bangkok Hospital. And doctors, specialist. Oh yeah, just 5th floor, 10 minutes. You see a specialist, right? Unlike Canada, I'd have to see a general practitioner. That takes you time. You get referred to a specialist. Oh, there's another 3-6 month wait. Bullshit. Excuse my French. But here you walk in, you see these specialists. Then I find out afterwards, a lot of these guys will do house calls. You ask the guy, sir, you're the ear, nose, and throat specialist. By the way, do you do after hours or come to the house, do visits? And this your card. Oh, okay, thanks. Unless you ask them, they probably won't tell you. But a lot of them do that. Well, Jesus, that's like the old days when I was a kid growing up. They'd come to your house, on the street in Canada, Ontario, with their black bag. And it was a house call by the doctor. Well, that quit. Yeah, I haven't seen that in 50 years. So that was interesting to know, but yeah, it is doable. And his point about the assisted living, I think that's a good future here because a lot of expats, we're all going to need some sort of facility like that at the future. Maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 30 years, but yeah, I can see a future there. And it will be affordable compared to the West. It ain't getting any cheaper in the West, and you ain't getting any, well, not enough of them. Captain Action, Brooke, hello. Happy Monday morning to you in the chat. Wow. Okay. Hit that like button, guys. We're up to 58. Or is that people watching? I don't know how many likes we got. Blakester Drums, if you find the condo you like on your own, how are you protected against being ripped off without using an agent? You can get ripped off using an agent. No, I would say, Blakester, first off, you keep your money in your pocket until you have a signed lease that's legitimate, obviously. If you're dealing with the juristic office in the condos, so example, quite often it's the juristic office that'll handle the rentals. They're in the building. The juristic offices are part of the building. They handle the certain matters of maintenance and all that stuff, collect fees and all that for the condos. So if you're dealing with them, you're pretty well guaranteed they're going to be legit. They tend to follow the law, so and they get in trouble if they don't. But okay, so you're at a condo and you see a notice on the wall, hey, available for sublet. Well, you meet the people. And if they're an expat, you're probably going to be okay. If they're a Thai, you're probably going to be okay. You just want to make sure you do have a legitimate lease in hand. If your gut will tell you a lot, instincts will tell you a lot. If you're uncertain, go to the juristic office in the building you're looking. I'm looking at renting this unit here. Do you know anything about it? Is this the owner? Is this the guy that actually has it? Has it been rented before? Have you had any trouble in that unit? Do you know anything about it? Can you help me out? I'm thinking I love the building, pay them compliments. I'm sure they're valid and go from there. But yeah, you should be okay. I know a lot of people do it. A lot of people actually rent before they get the lease. Their gut instinct says, oh yeah, this is a good unit. I don't want to lose it. I can tell the lady's legit. She's on the up and up. She's the owner probably. Not an agent they're dealing with. They're dealing directly with the owner, and they just put a deposit. Now they put a deposit, and then upon move-in, they'll pay the balance. So, don't all your money up front. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Most agents, you should be fine. However, we had an agent there, she absconded with the money, millions she got away with. Luckily, we came out okay, but yeah, that can happen with anybody. Common sense is a lot of it, and gut instinct. Roger Carpenter, I'm in the States. Okay, Roger the Dodger, he's in the States. R at Roger Carpenter, I hope you heard that wrong. It does not take that long to build a house. Okay, they're talking about building a house. Captain Action, 51 likes. Thanks for that, Captain. Because we don't get as many on this channel on the Mondays as on the other days of the week. So that's probably why. But that's okay. Hey, I think we're doing well. Terry Fallon, hit the like button, and now we'll see you next Saturday. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, we'll look forward to it. I don't know how many more. Okay, I guess we're getting near the end here. Robert Pierpont at Roger Carpenter. That seems to be the norm for Americans. Not sure what he's referring to. Don Delonic, I know 10 words of Thai and a smile. Smile goes a long way. But for some reason, they all know that 100 baht bill looks like, and that bridges the language barrier. Yeah. Donnie, he gets a massage every week. Good for him. The massages here are good. I will say that. Jackie does them religiously. A lot of the guys love them here, and they'll do them, weekly. Because they are good for the body. Like, they work the muscles. They know how to do it. You actually have to be trained here. So it's not something like any fly-by-night opens. And when you see that much competition, I mean, there's a massage area everywhere. And these aren't the happy massages they call in the States or Vegas. No, these are legitimate, good for the body ones. They're very popular. And I know Donnie, he gets good massage. He loves it, and he does tip them well. I'm talking about you running the whole show alone now. You ain't talking to me. No, I ain't running the whole show alone. I'm retired. I do this for fun. And if I got to do too much of it, it ain't fun anymore. W, I think this is the end of the comments. Good. W, hi from Queens, New York. What is your advice when an inexperienced investor in Bitcoin should first purchase today? I'm a good investor otherwise in the market and mutual funds. Okay. Do your research. What I would recommend is IBIT. Okay, get on because it's the ETF. Number one, you don't got to custody the Bitcoin in a cold wallet. Number two, they ain't going anywhere. BlackRock's the biggest on the planet. They ain't stupid. They're not going anywhere. So in other words, your monies are safe. Your coins are safe. It's called IBIT. Now, if you deal with Fidelity, Fidelity's just as good. Similar vein. They're maybe half the size of BlackRock, but again, way too big, and you never got to worry. Again, they'll self-custody. I think IBIT actually uses Coinbase, where Fidelity does their own self-custody themselves. But Coinbase is solid. They've been researched enough. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for a brand new. Now, for guys that have never bought any, maybe you're not even in the stock market. If you're thinking of Bitcoin, again, do your research. You get committed. The reason I say do that, you'll have less prone to oh my God, it's dropped 10%. I'm selling. I can't take the pain. When you know what Bitcoin is and you know where it's going and you know why it's going that way, you can sleep at night. You don't worry about the ups and downs, 10, 20%. Hopefully you buy more when you're able. So once you get committed, and how does that come? That comes from research. How do you research? Check out videos, read all you can, watch all you can, research everything you can about the subject you're looking into, and you will slowly become committed and hopefully an expert on it. And that way you're able to sleep at night, you're able to buy and hold, you realize what you're doing, what you're in, why it's headed, why it's going there, and you don't have to worry. You don't get stressed. Where the guy that hasn't done his research, he's going on, hey, Bill down the road told me I should buy some Bitcoin. I think I will. Yeah, everyone's talking about it. He buys, and then a week later it drops 10 or 15%. He panics. He doesn't know, why the hell did I listen to Bill? Shit, they call them tourists, paper hands. You don't want to be those guys. So, but I would say that's it. You can start off slow in IBIT or Fidelity FBTC. There's several out there. The fees are quite low, and you don't have to worry about the handling of it. The money is there. It's not going anywhere. It's very liquid. Should you need some lifestyle chips, or you have to, buy a house someday with the money, it's there. It's accessed. It's quick. So, yeah, take a look at that. Roger Carpenter, Brooke, you missed my post about Wise. Okay, well, hit it up again. I didn't see it. Try not to miss. Wise is good though. I like Wise. Jeff Trio, eggs went down more than $2. It's a start. I think he's talking the West there. Geez, I heard eggs in the West were like $6 a dozen. When I was in Florida, I remember paying 99 cents for quite a while during those COVID years. So, all right, and everyone take care and have a great week. Yeah, okay, I think that's it, guys. I think we'll wind it up here. That's the end of the comments. So 2 hours, yeah, that's a good time. Yeah, so hopefully answered a few questions. We'll see everybody next next Saturday at 8 p.m. So this was a morning one. This is Monday morning at 8. It'll be Saturday night 8, and that's Thailand time. In the meantime, everyone stay safe. Thanks for hitting the like and subscribe buttons, guys. Blakester Drum Waffle House charges 50 cents extra per egg. Yeah, here it's only like 40. So it's still a better deal. Tommy Lee, be safe and stay healthy. Yes, Tommy, thank you. All right, guys, we're going to end off 2 hours, 3 minutes. Thanks again. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Saturday.